So good morning. This is for those of you who weren't able to be with us at our Holy Communion, our informal Holy Communion service this morning on Zoom. And I'll just share with you the reading that we had this morning and also the short homily that followed. So hear the Gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ according to John. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. I do not give them to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not let them be afraid. You heard me say to you, I am going away, and I am coming to you. If you loved me, you would rejoice that I am going to the Father, because the Father is greater than I. And now I have told you this before it occurs, so that when it does occur, you may believe. I will no longer talk much with you, for the ruler of this world is coming. He has no power over me, but I do as the Father has commanded me, so that the world may know that I love the Father. Rise, let us be on our way. This is the Gospel of the Lord. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not let them be afraid, says Jesus in our passage today. It's very hard not to let our hearts be troubled at the moment, or to find ourselves feeling fear. I know I had a moment such as that late last night. We're living through such unprecedented and worrying times, and none of us knows what the future holds. None of us know what this new normal that's being talked about will look like. Social isolation might mean for some of us that we are on our own for long periods of time, and we might be getting lonely. Each day perhaps looks the same, and we might find ourselves experiencing some dark moods. How can we find this peace that Jesus promises to give us this morning? I've just heard of an excellent resource that I'd like to share with you, which some of you might find helpful at this time in finding peace. It's on the internet and it's called Alone Together, and the website is www.alonetogether.org.uk. It's a beautifully constructed online resource with lots of different short films, and they've been put together by Father Revd Jane, who is a Benedictine monk. You might have heard of him. He's written a number of popular books, and he also featured in the BBC television series called The Monastery, which was something of a hit on the television. He has this wonderful knack of making the monastic tradition more widely relevant and available to people. The resources that he's put out share advice from the monastic tradition about how to cope with periods of isolation. Monks and nuns voluntarily choose to self-isolate, and they have centuries of experience about how to do this well. I had a brief conversation recently with someone from a religious order, and they told me that their life really isn't very different during lockdown as to how it is normally. There are many tips that Father Christopher shares with us, but the ones I'd like to offer you this morning are about how we might create a rhythm for the day. And this is especially important if we're not going out and we have nothing particular to shape our time. Father Christopher recommends creating a natural rhythm for the day to give it colour. Getting up at the same time each day is important, he says. Obey the unwelcome call of the alarm clock. He suggests we then punctuate the day with 3 opportunities for reflection at morning, midday and then again in the evening. He suggests that we start the day with a quiet gratitude practice. We take some time to focus on everything that is good in our life, everything that is a blessing, that both things that are big but also not forgetting those things that are small. We notice those things that are giving us a sense of peace right now, and we try not to dwell on any grievances that we might have. We then ask for the grace that we need to live the coming day well. Then at lunchtime, he recommends that we take a breather by having some food and allowing ourselves to have a period of rest so that we reset our clock for the rest of the day. Allow ourselves to have a peaceful moment to restore ourselves. And then in the evening, he recommends that we have a cut-off point when we put aside any chores or jobs that we might have. And we then take some time to look back on the day, asking, where was God in my life today? And as we notice those moments, we give thanks for them. And we then look back on the day asking, where was God absent from my day? When did I feel far away from God? And we might want to ask for forgiveness for those moments. Father Christopher says, you can then lie down and express peace with yourself and with the world. So some very simple but profound advice that's been harvested from centuries of the monastic way of life and might help us today. And Father Christopher also shares a prayer with us that we might use daily, and it comes from St. Teresa of Avila. Let nothing disturb you, let nothing frighten you. All things are passing away. God never changes. Patience obtains all things. Whoever has God lacks nothing. God alone suffices. Amen.